When on high, before the world, there was the primordial groundwater, Abzu, and the primordial sea, Tiamat. These two, through the mingling of their waters, would create divinity, and eventually lead to a great pantheon that triumphed over an ancient world. But the question remains, how strong is Tiamat? So her first feat comes from the mixing of waters with Abzu, which occurred before heaven and earth existed, and predates the gods. From this initial mixing, two gods came into being, Lamu and Lahamu, two additional primordial water gods, and then their grandchildren, Anshar, the primordial god of the sky, and Kishar, the very earth. Conservatively being one half of a universal creation feat, makes Tiamat multi-galaxy in creation potential, seeing as from her and Abzu existence came into being, and then the sky and earth followed 2 generations later, and then 2 generations later after that, Nutamud, the god of the sun, came into being. Her next feat comes from Abzu's confidence in killing all of the pantheon of gods they birthed, after they had grown noisy. Their ways are truly abominable to me. By day I find no relief, nor repose by night. I will destroy, I will wreck their ways, that quiet may be restored. Let us have rest, is what Abzu said. Again, this statement and seeing Tiamat and Abzu as equal means that Abzu was more than capable of destroying the sun, sky, earth, and moon by himself and seemingly in short succession. While we don't know the capacity of the sky here, even conservatively destroying the manifestation and god of the sun would be star level to large star level depending on the ease, and the sky likewise, if we count the night sky, would be concretely solar system level. Why not more? Doesn't the night sky contain the Milky Way? Well, in the Enuma Elish, the Milky Way does not quite exist yet. You know why? Because the Milky Way is Tiamat herself. How did Tiamat become the Milky Way? Well, it was because Marduk, a storm god and soon-to-be head of the pantheon, battled her after the gods laid Abzu into a deep slumber to kill him without threat of repose. Not that it was an easy fight for Marduk. You see, he was equipped with a mace, the winds of the 4 directions, a wind of foul omen, the hurricane, and something called the matchless wind, and the blessings of every god in the Anunnaki pantheon. And he still needed more aids, raising his powerful weapon, the storm wind, and chasing her on his chariot of the storm. Long story short, he went in with spells on his lips, poison on his hand, and the power of heaven behind him to fell his primordial grandmother. And it was after the battle, as he used every tool in his arsenal to dispose her, that he, quote, split her in 2 as a shellfish, and half of her set as the ceiling of the sky, creating what would be the firmament, or celestial sphere, on which the other stars of the Milky Way would be painted, meaning her body was at the very least with an arm of the Milky Way galaxy, being multi-solar system level at a minimum. That's a lot for just describing her power, so where does that leave us? At minimum, if you compare her to Abzu believing he could fell the pantheon in a fair fight, she is star to large star level in potency, being able to contest the manifestation and the god of the sun. If you think half her body amounts to her full power, then she is multi-solar system to galaxy level, having led to the creation to the Milky Way galaxy, or at least the arm that we see on the low end of it. As Marduk did nothing but set her body, as he cast no spell or used no charm. And of course the high end is universal, as her Big Bang with Abzu led to heaven and earth forming in the first place. Durability likewise scales somewhere in the same range of multi-galaxy to universal, because it took the entire pantheon granting boons and a fate manipulation buff from Anu to give Marduk a chance of victory, and it was a hard fight even with Marduk's advantages. Now we come to the contentious part. We get no concrete speed scaling in most mythology. As you see here, Marduk traveled through all of heaven, but we're not given a time frame. But it's safe to say that if it was a reasonable amount of time, it would be massively faster than light, since the heavens in ancient times and even today can be synonymous with space and the universe. If you'd like to scale it as a different dimension and use a higher level of speed scaling for it, it would be an infinite speed feat. Of course, moving around before time exists, at least to my knowledge, as higher speed scaling is new to me, is immeasurable speed. So, low end, Tiamat is star level, faster than light, with spells capable of matching the gods as seen here, and the ability to fight with Marduk, who scales above the entire pantheon for this specific fight. Mid-end interpretation, i.e. the safe interpretation, is high multi-galaxy to universe level, and massively faster than light to an unknown degree. again based on Marduk searching the heavens, and Tiamat being one half of the universe creation event. High-end, Tiamat is universal to universal plus if heaven is indeed a different dimension as described as being heaven above with immeasurable speed. Her spells would be somewhere near her attack potency, seeing as Marduk wasn't equal to her and had to stop her from casting her spells. And that's basically Tiamat, the primordial goddess and one of the mightiest beings in the entire Babylonian mythos. If you have a mythological figure you want me to scale next, comment it down below. As always, thanks for watching.